Hello users and welcome to a hot new Flicks Done Quick. And today I am reviewing The Silence that just came out on Netflix. And I just want to get this out of the way. Yes, it's pretty much the same premise as A Quiet Place, which I have seen. And no, and I'm not going to bring that up again. Um, so basically this movie is essentially there's a deaf girl. It's based off of a book, and I've not read the book. Keep this in mind. This is I just saw this appear on Netflix, and I watched it, so keep that in mind. So a girl who's deaf and appears to have a pretty robust backstory that we don't understand at all. Basically, there's like a long prologue where it kind of like tries to make us relate to the characters, but doesn't really do a great job of it just because the prologue is so short. I feel like they probably could have added another 10 or 15 minutes to the early parts of the movies just to make the characters flesh out a little bit more. Um, Also, I can't get over the fact that the main like father guy looks almost exactly like Walter White. I couldn't get over it. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, so with that out of the way, I do love the concept of disaster movies that don't rely on things like aliens or more supernatural things like ghosts. I love the idea, like in The Descent was another movie that had this idea of an ancient, like, kind of species existing deep underground and then interacting with humans, except this is more of an apocalyptic scenario rather than just a cave scenario. And I think it's really cool. It's one of the most interesting kind of horror, like, kind of, villains, like, evil kind of things that I can think of. Um, and yeah, so I like this film. I do um, I like the setup and the premise. I just think that the movie itself is too short and doesn't flesh out enough to feel like much of an impact is happening. Like when one of the characters dies, Glenn, the like weirdo friend of the dad guy, like we don't know him really well enough to care about his death other than in a sense like it's just a thing that's happening in the story. And as that goes, the movie is cool. The story is good. I just feel like the scenes don't have enough fleshing out. And again, this is apparently based off of a book. I've not read the book, although I might read the book. I don't know. It's pretty cool sounding. But I mean, my main critique in this film is that nothing has enough like kind of oomph to it to really feel like it you don't really feel too connected or related to the characters. And I do want to give a shout out to the doggy, whose name is Otis, who is a very good doggy, but because the movie is based off of like creatures that will attack you if they hear you, which is, I don't know if I mentioned that yet, but yeah, that's the thing. Doggy kept barking, so basically what they did is they sent Doggy into the abyss. So they didn't actually show Doggy dying really. It's, obviously it's implied, but either way, Otis was a really good doggy. So a moment of silence for Otis the dog. Okay, so the cult thing didn't really like again just there wasn't much to it that made you really feel too much into it. Like they were introduced way too late to kind of build up to anything. Um I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this movie is really good in a lot of things, but like it just is too short, way too short. This is something I feel like I don't know. I feel like everything needs more detail. But I mean, as it stands, the scenes are good, the action is good, the tensity of like the going through areas without making a sound, that stuff is good. Everything is good except the story just leaves a lot to be desired. And that's really all I have to say about it. I loved the music. The music was really good. I really enjoyed the kind of like shit gets real moment of they just kind of wake her up in the middle of the night. Her being the deaf girl, they just kind of wake her up in the middle of the night, and I feel like in the middle of sleeping, and then like you wake up and there's helicopters in the sky and there's like a fire in the horizon. Like that kind of stuff is cool. So I thought that was really well done. Um, And yeah, so I mean, my big thing about this film is not much is really fleshed out enough to really care about a lot of it. Um, the cult wanting to steal the girl because she's fertile. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there could have been a lot more there as far as build up, but I don't know. I thought it was okay, and I thought the premise was really good. And then I think I've repeated myself enough, so I'm going to turn this off now. But yes, good film. Check it out.